Dear students, as you are aware that we have completed the syllabus of process dynamics and control subject. So we have completed this all 5 units in the normal classes as well as online classes. So from today onwards we are going to start the revision of all units. So in this session I am going to start the first unit. So here we are going to discuss about briefly about all the topics of first unit, which is process dynamics. So before going to discuss, once we will see the contents of this first unit, it is process dynamics. In this we are going to discuss about the process variables, load variables, dynamics of various process, interacting non-interacting systems, continuous and batch process, self-regulation, servo and regulator operation and their problems. So we'll discuss about all these topics briefly. So let us start. So first of all, so actually this subject process dynamics control is also named as process control instrumentation. So first of all we see what is process, what is control and what is instrumentation. So generally a process is nothing but the series of operations performed on a material or some objects to get the desired product. A series of operations performed on a material to get the desired product is nothing but a process, or another way it is a series of operations on fluid materials during which the materials are placed in a more useful state. So anything is a process. If you are going to fill a bucket, the flowing of the water into the bucket which will fill the bucket to some extent level, that is also called as a process. So what is control? Control is nothing but is a process of forcing the parameter to have some desired value, to have some specific value. That is nothing but control. So as you know that instrument is nothing but it is a branch of engineering which deals with the measurement and control of various physical parameters. So here we are going to discuss about the controlling of various process parameters. So as already I told that it is some series of operations performed on an object to get the desired product. So in order to get the desired product, so we need to control these series of operations. How we are going to control these series of operations? What are the mechanisms involved in that to get the desired object? For that, what are different methods and different elements and different process? Everything we are going to discuss about the entire subject of the process dynamics and control. Okay, so the basic objective of the process control is to regulate the variable. To regulate means to maintain the variable at a desired value. That is nothing but regulation or controlling. So for any process control, the basic objective is to maintain the variable of a desired of the process at desired value. For example, if you see our air conditioner, what is the function of air conditioner? The main function or the main aim of the air conditioner is to maintain the temperature of the room at our desired or whatever you are going to set the value, that is called as air conditioner. If you are going to set the value in a remote 24 degrees centigrade, so the air conditioner is going to use some mechanism and maintain the room temperature as 24 degrees centigrade, irrespective of the external effects and weather temperature and room conditions. It is go on maintaining the 24 degrees centigrade in your room. So that is nothing but controlling. So the objective of that particular air conditioner is to maintain the temperature at desired value. So for any process, the basic objective is to maintain the value at our desired set point value. That is nothing but a process control objective. So before going to discuss about the different methods and different variables in a process, let us see a simple process where we can here clearly understand the operation of the particular general process block diagram, general process. By seeing this example, we can get the idea of the basic process. Okay, So if you observe here, there is a process. Here you can observe a tank in which some amount of liquid is flowing into the tank through this pipe, and some amount of liquid is flowing out through this pipe with a flow rate of Q out, and here the fluid is entering into the tank with a flow rate of Q in. So the process is some amount of water or liquid is flowing into the tank and some amount of fluid is flowing out the tank, and due to this inflow and outflow the level of the tank is increasing or decreasing. So this is called a process, the series of operation. What is series of operation? Flowing into the tank, flowing out of the tank, and changing the level of the tank. This is nothing but process. Okay, if you observe this process, the liquid in the tank has some level h, small h. The output flow rate Q out varies as the square root of Q out. Square root of the h. That means output flow rate is nothing but some constant into square root of level, k into square root of h. That means if the level of the tank is more, the flow rate is also more. If the level of the tank is less, the output flow rate is also less. If output flow rate is not exactly equal to the input, the level of the tank may rise or may drop. If the output flow rate is more than input flow rate, the level of the tank will drop. If the output flow rate is less than the input flow rate, that is Q in, the level of the tank will rise. And this process is also having some another property, which is called a very important property, that is called as self-regulation. As the time process continues at particular time, say whenever the level is some 50%, maybe the input flow rate is equal to output flow rate. At that time, this level reaches a particular value that cannot change, which cannot change from that value. Whenever this input flow rate or output flow will change from that values, then only the level will change. That means it can reach a particular value of the level which is not our desired value, but it maintains some constant value when input flow rate and output flow rate are equal. So this property is called as self-regulation. It is one of the topic of our unit 1, that is called as self-regulation. So if you want, you can see the definition also. For some input flow rate, the liquid height will rise until it reaches the height for which the output flow rate matches the input flow rate. So this is called as self-regulation. This does not provide regulation of variable to any particular reference value. So it is not getting our desired set point value, but it will reach at particular value. That is called as self-regulation. So if you observe this one, this is a process. So what we are going to discuss actually, that is controlling. Controlling means to maintain any one of these variable at our desired value, nothing but at our desired value. This is nothing but process control or level control. If I want to maintain the level of this particular tank at my desired value, some capital H, then we have to use some methods and we have to control. That control is called as level control. Or sometimes we may need to control the output flow rate or input flow rate. That is called as flow control. So before going to discuss about the automatic process control, first we will see how we are going to control this level by human being, or that is called a manual control or human aided control. So for any variable, if you want to control any variable, that may be temperature or pressure or flow, anything. So before going to control any parameter, you must have the information about that variable. To control any variable, you must have the information about that variable. So without knowing that value, we are not going to control that parameter. For example, if you want to control the temperature to some 30 degrees centigrade, you should know what is the present value of temperature. If it is more than 30, then you have to reduce the temperature. If it is less than 30, you have to increase the temperature. That's why the very foremost important thing to control any variable is you must have the information about that parameter. Say here, this is called as a human aided level control. So our parameter to be controlled is the level, so that here we are having a side tube through which this person is able to observe the present level of that particular tank. Okay, and in order to control this level, here I am having a control valve which controls the output flow rate. Okay, so this particular person is observe the present level through the side tube, and some amount of water is flowing into the tank and some amount of water is flowing out to the tank. Okay, so his desired set point is, that is level, that is capital H. So he has observed that from the side tube the present level is small h. Then in his mind, in his brain, he can compare the present level of this tank and desired level of this tank, and depending upon the deviation he can take some decision such that he can increase the output flow rate. So as he increase the output flow rate through this control valve, then the level falls. Then whenever it becomes equal, then again you may adjust the flow rate. Otherwise you can adjust the flow rate such that the level of this tank is equal to this capital H. And after some time, if there are any changes in the input flow rate, again the level may increase or decrease depending upon the input flow rate. Again he has to increase or decrease the output flow rate. So this is called as human aided control or manual control. Here you can observe there are three parameters. Those are input flow rate, output flow rate and level. And you have to control the level. The first most important thing is he has observed what is the present level, and depending upon the present level and comparing that level with the desired, his brain can take the decision, and depending upon that he can move the control valve stem, or you can call it as lever. So by moving the lever he can increase or decrease the flow rate, and is trying to bring the level of the tank to the desired set point. Now we will see what is automatic control. So first we will see otherwise so just to provide automatic control, the system is modified such that the machine's electronics or computer replace the operation of the human. So whatever the operation done by the human being, that is completely replaced by a machine. So whenever we want to learn how the electronic machines or computers or any other devices is going to bring the parameter to the desired set point without involving the human being, that is called as automatic control. That means in the automatic control, the various electronic or other type of devices, computers can replace the human being. So that is called as automatic control. Without involving the human being, if the devices or computer is able to bring a parameter to our desired value, that is nothing but automatic control. So here in the previous example, human aided control, we are having a side tube and which is observed by the eyes of the human being. So that is replaced, and further the main purpose of this one is to measure the present level. So that function can be carried out by using a sensor, a level sensor that gives the information about the present level. So that sensor, generally we are having different types of sensors, so which we already discussed in the transducer subject. There may be a capacitive sensor, a resistive sensor. So this provides information about the present level, and here there is an electronic device or computer called controller. So in the previous case, the brain of the human being is able to compare the present level and desired level. Depending upon the deviation between these two, his brain can take the decision. Depending upon that, he can increase or decrease the control valve. In the similar way, the brain of the human being is replaced by a device called controller. So the output of the sensor is fed to the controller. So this controller is also taking the desired set point value. Both will be compared, and internally we are having a comparator. So that information is given to the controller. The controller will decide the what type of action to be taken by the next element in order to bring the variable to our desired set point. Generally, controller will not control anything. It only decides what type of action to be taken by the next element to make the variable to our desired set point or to bring the variable to our desired set point. So for that, the next it is having, so in the previous case we are having a hands of the human being. By using hands he can rotate the lever of the control valve to increase or decrease the flow rate. That hands and the lever can be replaced by a device called actuator. So this actuator converts the control signal which is provided by the controller into some action on the control valve, on the control element. The control output signal is converted into some action. That function can be carried by a device called actuator, or simply actuator converts the output of the controller into some action on the control element. What is the action? Increasing or opening or closing the control valve. So finally this is called a control valve. So that can directly provide the changes in the output flow rate that may increase or decrease the flow rate such that it brings the level of the tank to the desired set point. So that is, so this, that's why here we are observed the some level control, how we are going to control the level by using human head control and also automatic process control. So in this automatic control, so these devices, actuator, controller, sensor, or replaces the function of human being. Okay, so this is called automatic control. So in this entire subject we are going to discuss about this process control techniques for different process controlling. That may be temperature or level, anything. So how we are going to control, what are the different mechanisms used and what are the characteristics of those methods, everything. And before going to discuss about the everything, just we are going to observe what are general variables or general variables available in a process. So that's why I am going to explain. I am going to replace the entire this level control with some general process. So what happens? So if you observe, now we'll go for a general process control block diagram. See, so this is having mainly some 4, or you can call it 5 elements also. These are process, measurement, this is a comparator, controller, and control element. So actually there is a line should be there here, that is this is the control variable. So what is the first, we will go for some comparison of this block diagram with the previous one. So what is this process? I already have told that process nothing but it is a series of operations performed on an object to get an object, to get a desired product. So in the previous example, that is flowing liquid, flowing the inflow of the liquid into the tank, outflow of the liquid from the tank, and level of the tank, that comes under process. So in the previous case we have observed some sensor, so that is used to measure the level. So that is a measurement that can carry the function of measurement, and this measured value of the level is compared with the desired set point of the level. So that's why it is given as some to the comparator, which compare this measured value and set point value, and that comparison, which we call as error, that is given to the controller, just like our human brain. So the controller will decide the type of action to be taken, and that output signal, the signal indicates the type of action. So that is given to the control element, that is in the previous case that may be a control valve. So the control valve may control some one of the variable, and that brings the control variable to the desired set point. So once again, before going to discuss about again this complete block diagram, we can observe some variables. In the previous example, what are the variables? Input flow rate, output flow rate, level of the tank, and sometimes the surrounding temperature, pressure also having some effect on the level. These are all called as variable. What is variable? The quantity which varies with the time is nothing but variable. So these variables regarding to the a process, I am calling, generally these are called as process variables. The variables which are related to the a specified process is called as process variables. So these are divided actually in broadly say that is input and output variables, or and in detail classification those are called as controlled variable, manipulated variable, load variables. Controlled variables, manipulated variables, and load variables. So what is the control variable, what is manipulated variable, and what is load variable? So here what is our aim in this? For example, if in this example level control, there are variables Q in, Q out, and H, and there are some surrounding pressure, temperature also there. So our aim is to control the level of the tank. So that's why that level is the control variable. The variable which is to be controlled in a process is called as control variable. And how we are going to control this level in this example? I am going to bringing the level to our desired set point either by increasing or decreasing the flow rate. Which flow rate? Output flow rate. So then this output flow rate is called as controlling or manipulate variable. That means by varying this output flow rate only we are able to control or manipulate your or bringing your variable to control variable to our set point. So that's why this is called as manipulate variable. You can use this also manipulate variable, but the control will select the only one variable as the variable by varying which this control variable is having some fast changes to get the to reach the desired set point. So the variable which is selected by the controller to control the control to bring the control variable to set point is called as manipulated or controlling variable. So these are the definition of control and manipulated variables. The once assume that once by varying or by controlling this output flow rate, assume that this flow rate is come back to our desired set point. But after some time, after 10 seconds or 1 minute or 1 hour, suddenly there is change in again flow rate, input flow rate, or maybe a pressure, temperature. What happens? Again this particular level may deviate from our set point. The variables which vary this control variable from the set point are nothing but load variables, are simply the variables excluding this controlled and controlling variable called as load variables. That means all the other variables which will have effect on the control variable to deviate from set point are called load variables. So this is about the general variables. The main variables of the process control are control variable, manipulated variable, and load variables. Manipulated variable and load variables. So with this again we will see the complete process control block diagram. Then we will go for some other topics. Okay. So generally, so in our coming almost all the units, we are going to solve with different variables. We should represent those variables in a particular way, a particular letters. So generally, the process is having produce different variables. The output variable which is to be measured or which is to be controlled are called as control variable. So that is represented by a letter called as C. The manipulate variable is represented by some U. So there are some other variables also there which are having some effect that are called as load variables, but it is not required to measure. But because the load variables may change the your control variable from set point, but it is not able to bring it to the again set point. There is only one variable that can bring the control variable to set point is called as manipulate variable. Okay. So first we need to measure this variable. by using sensor or by using some measurement, and this information you can represent by a letter called as P. The desired value or set point is represented by a letter called as R. So by comparing these two, we are getting some value that is called error. That error equal to R minus B, and depending upon this error, the controller will provide some output signal. So that output signal P is represented by letter P. Okay. Now once again I will explain the definition of all these elements. Once again listen. Process is nothing but series of operations performed on a particular object to get the desired product. So the measurement is nothing but, in order to control a variable, you must have the information about that variable. For that, we are going to measure the variable by using a sensor. So that function carried by this block, that is called a measurement, and is called a comparator, which compares the present value of process variable with the desired set point. Why it is different from the control variable B? Generally, we are using some sensors. Almost all the sensors are electrical sensors. The level may be measured by using capacitive or level sensor, but the information is given in the form of electrical data. So that's why this B is not a C. It is only measure indication. So that's why most of our devices are also, we are having electronic device or computers. So the data may be available in the form of electrical, or sometimes you can call it digital data. So this is the electrical representation of the desired control variable. So this error is given to a device called controller. Simply, controller is a device which, by comparing the present and desired value, it produces an output signal. So this output signal P indicates type of action to be taken by the control element. Type of action to be taken by the control element to bring the control variable to the set point value. So this is about the process control block diagram, and generally this output of the controller, which is P, generally is expressed in terms of percentage. So we will see that generally the error is nothing but R minus C or R minus B. Okay, so how actually that are represented those values, actually we are going to see in the exact second unit, where we are going to discuss about the different types of controller and characteristics of controller. And in this first unit, the other major topics which we have to discuss are, as per our syllabus, those are some batch and control process, batch and continuous, interacting and non-interacting system. So in this session, just I would like to give a brief idea about what is batch and continuous process. In the next session and in the next video, I am going to explain about in detail about the interactive and also. So in the similar way, just same diagram for the level control. Here this is the actual level. This level sensor is used to provide information about the present actual level, and that is given to the level transmitter, which transmits this signal into the controller, and the controller will compare the set point value, and depending upon deviation provide some output signal that is going to, this is called actuator, that may increase or decrease the flow rate. This is called a control element. This is input flow and this is output flow rate Q. Okay, so there are different types of process depending upon the movement of materials, whether it is stationary or continuously moving. They are classified into two types. Those are batch and continuous process. A process in which the materials or work are stationary at one physical location while being treated, while being it is in use, they are called as a batch process. Okay, wherever the works or any materials are at stationary only. For example, this is a process. We are putting in a particular vessel, a cooker, and it is going to produce some product called as idli. This is called as a batch process. and maybe some products where we're going to design any product that can uh, produce that desired product without moving any objects. That is called as batch process. And a process in which the materials or work flows more continuous or less continuously through a plant apparatus while being manufactured or treated. So almost all chemical process or almost all power plants. So in order to generate the power, what you are having? So first we have to take the coal that has to flow from one place to, that is storage to, through conveyor to the boiler, and where the coal is mixed with the air and they burn to produce some combustion, and this is used in a process called as boiler, that is used to convert the water into steam. The water is taken from water reservoir to this boiler, and then the water is converted into steam, and this steam should flow through some pipes, and that should flow through a turbines. That to rate the turbines, the turbine is coupled to a alternator which will produce the power. So almost there are no stationary materials. Almost all the materials are flowing from one place to other place. So that's why those processes are called as continuous process. So there are different types of advantages and disadvantages of all these process. So at the same place we can use the different types of products. It's possible by using batch process, but and also we can use the reactants in any state including the solids. So like that, just you go through this advantage and disadvantages. So this is one type of just brief discussion about the continuous and batch process. There are some factors that we compared in the continuous and batch process. Okay, so in the next video we will discuss about the interacting and non-interacting system and some dynamics of pressure, level, temperature process. But in brief, I am going to explain only any one process, either level or pressure process. Okay, that involves more mathematical expressions which you already covered in control system subject, where you need to derive some transfer functions. What is transfer function? It is the ratio of Laplace transform of output to the input. So already you have discussed, and already in the regular class also we have explained about this, all this mathematical. So in this review class it is not possible to discuss in detail, so just you go to that one. Anyway, I will try to discuss about at least one process in brief. Okay.